of that, Rahul, this evening. Well, here's our big story this evening, a revelation that left most of us quite gobsmacked, frankly. Angelina Jolie, one of the world's most recognized women, a top actress, activist in her own right, has had a double mastectomy. This after a gene test found she had 87% risk of developing cancer, a threat that's now down to 5%, she says, according to her doctor. She's being applauded for coming out with what's being called brave revelation, and many activists say there's hope. It's going to be an inspiration to women all around the world. I don't feel any less of a woman. This must be Angelina Jolie's most inspirational role ever. Her candid article, the matter-of-fact tone, and the brave revelation that she went through a double mastectomy last month goes beyond tabloid gossip and your average Hollywood role model. I wanted to write this to tell other women that the decision to have a mastectomy was not easy, but it is one I am very happy that I made. My chances of developing breast cancer have dropped from 87% to under 5%. I can tell my children that they don't need to fear they will lose me to breast cancer. On a personal note, I do not feel any less of a woman. I feel empowered that I made a strong choice that in no way diminishes my femininity. The 37-year-old who has 6 children speaks of choice, the pain of losing her mother at the age of 56, her children's questions and their fear, and most important, her determination to be proactive about her health, even at the cost of disfigurement. Jolie gives a step-by-step description of the procedures, publicizing an operation in a powerful message to women across the world who might be living under the shadow of cancer.
Thank you.
Her last appearance at the World Women's Summit event, where she paid a poignant tribute to 15-year-old Pakistani schoolgirl who survived the Taliban attack. For the world's sexiest woman, the choice is clear: health over body. Hats off to her, say many, the one who dared to bear it all. Right, and that's, of course, what we're looking at this evening. There are, of course, a whole host of topics to look at, a whole host of things. Is it really health over body? Is just like simplifying the debate, all of that and lots more coming up. So remember, there are serious issues as well. There are medical issues and, of course, moral ethical issues as well. Of course, Harmala Gupta with us. She's a cancer survivor, someone who's very well known. Talk about dealing with cancer, also President Cancer Support. Dr. Siddharth Sahani is an oncologist, and Archana also joining us. She's a cancer survivor. Thanks all so much for being with us. Before, Dr. Sahani, I get into the symbolism of it. It's being applauded, and I'm going to ask you, Harmala, how you see it as somebody who's sort of, so keenly involved in this awareness and in this fight against cancer. I want to ask you, this is, of course, a gene test that has been done.
Yeah.
Is this test completely reliable, and is that an option for women in India?
The gene test is a test called the BRCA test. It means breast cancer gene. It tests for 2 genes, the BRCA1 and the BRCA2. Now, it does occur, and it does occur in India, but it occurs in a very small population of all breast cancer patients worldwide. It's been studied the maximum in the world in a race called the Ashkenazi Jews, and in certain other subgroups along the Icelandic population as well. But in India, the data on BRCA is small, and the maximum amount of work is at the Tata Memorial Hospital.
Right.
The test is available, and if you test positive for it, then the chances, as we saw in the earlier segment, are greater than 85% of developing a breast cancer in a lifetime in a woman.
Right. My next question would be, is every woman there free to go and get tested for this? Are there certain kinds of cancers only that can be tested for this?
Well, you have to have a definite history or a history of a certain type. If you have a male breast cancer in the family, then the likelihood of the BRCA positivity increases. If there is an ovarian cancer in the mother and a breast cancer in the daughter, then the BRCA-ness, or the BRCA-ness as we call it, increases. The difference is that not all breast cancers are influenced by this. And it also depends on the type of breast cancer that there is. So if you have a young woman with a breast cancer and it's not what is called a hormone positive breast cancer, then the likelihood of it being BRCA positive or a BRCA positive are increased. But before you this test itself is a very simple test. It's a blood test. But before you test for it, there are the ethical issues,
Right.
the moral issues, the legal issues, and the medical issues that one has to fully explain to a patient,
Right.
and have to be understood by the patient and the family,
Right.
before the test is undertaken.
Before the test is
because
undertaken, right.
to undertake the test and find that it's positive and not know enough about it lands, I think, people in a huge soup. It lands the doctor in a worse soup. It lands the patient in the greatest soup,
Right.
or the person who's tested for it,
Right.
because it's not just the individual, but the whole family tree that essentially should be tested for this gene.
Right, should be tested. And you're saying, this evening, Harmala, would you sort of say that if someone has the option of getting this test done, you should also be able to afford it, right?
Yes,
it's not
a cheap test.
It's not a cheap test. That, of course, is important to remember in a country like India. But for all those women who are concerned about their health, who want to sort of know what their risks are, or would perhaps want to know, we want to go ahead and do it. And now we're being told that, look, Angelina Jolie can come out with it. She's going to inspire women all around the world. What's your take on it?
I think, first of all, one has to understand that it's just a very small percentage of women who actually have this gene that increases their risk of breast cancer. And it's a risk that's not only confined to the breasts, it also affects your ovaries. And I suspect the anxiety level is so high, especially amongst younger women, because we really don't have a good screening tool for women with dense breasts at that young age. The mammogram is especially for older women. So I think if you're just told, you know, that you have this high risk and there isn't, you know, well, you come and see us, but there isn't really much available in terms of being able to catch it quick enough for you, I think that would certainly stress women out, and they would therefore opt for a more aggressive solution, which I wish wasn't there. I mean, there should be another way, hopefully, to deal with it, and we will in the future, I hope.
But we don't have that other option at present, perhaps.
Angelina Jolie has not had her ovaries removed, and I suspect that's because there is an ultrasound. There are mechanisms available that can monitor that much more easily, so that if you do have even a precancerous or a cancerous situation, it can be quickly nipped in the bud.
Right. But her argument perhaps would be, or women like her argument would perhaps be, prevention is better than cure.
Well, but you know, what are you preventing? You're only preventing one cancer. It doesn't mean you can prevent other cancers. You can get any other cancer too. But the point is, for her, there is a big risk. She has a family history. And I suspect, you know, as a mother and as a wife, she's not just looking at it in terms of medical terms. She's looking at the implications. She talked about the fact that she was deprived of a mother.
And her children were concerned.
And her children were concerned.
Her whether she would die
and
of
she
breast
didn't want
cancer.
that to happen to her children. So I think when women take this decision, it's not just on medical grounds. There are many more aspects that are involved in it, and you need a supportive spouse too. You need a society that won't stigmatize you. And I think this is the good thing that she's come out openly.
And is that also important? She's a top actress, and, you know, sort of in the film world, in the glamour world, and she's talking about this quite openly. And in fact, online there's so much about, you know, how are they going to see her? Are they going to sort of see her differently and all of that? But she's managed to put that, or that doesn't really seem to be a priority for her. Is that you think one of the good
I think it's a good thing, because we want cancer and all these things to come out of the cupboard, but I don't think it'll be good if women feel that she's done it, therefore we must do it. I think everyone is different, is individual. You need to discuss it with your doctors, your families, etc., and you take a decision that's good for you. So we shouldn't have copycat, you know, double mastectomy.
Before I get on, Dr. Sahni, very quickly, this is, of course, what is the issues really about this for a doctor? If someone comes to you without this BRCA test gene and just says, I know I have a high risk, there's a great chance I'm going to get it, I'd like to go in for something as drastic as this.
See, with the BRCA, it's the only gene where we can actually quantify the risk of a breast cancer. And as Harmala said earlier, there is a risk of ovarian cancer. So it's not just breast, but it's called the BOS, or the breast ovarian syndrome, where the guidelines are that you'd offer the patient a double mastectomy with reconstruction, and at 40, or at a time when the woman has finished her family, you then remove the ovaries as well. You have to address both issues. I'm guessing Angelina is not at 40 as yet, so maybe they will offer it to her at a later stage. She might still want to have kids of her own. We don't know anything about that.
Might be close, I'm not really sure, but she might be somewhere there.
It's very hard
but anyway,
in that industry anyways. And it's also the fact that if she's had breast reconstruction, today we can reconstruct the breast in such a you know, beautiful manner that the impact on her acting career may be zero.
Maybe zero. Right, and that of course brings me to Anuradha. Anuradha, I'm sorry for getting your name wrong earlier, but you're someone who's had a double mastectomy, yet you chose to stay away from this kind of reconstructive surgery.
Yeah, yeah.
What made you take that decision?
Actually, the shape of my body doesn't actually really matter to me much. Rather than I want to be healthy, and I never wanted more procedures on me, because I had already gone through so many surgeries and chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and all the other medical procedures and tests, and still I'm going on with all those tests. So I never wanted even a bit of extra medical invasion on me.
When you hear all this talk of gene tests now being available, of sort of coming up with clear answers on what your risks are, do you believe that women, after your experience, do you believe that women should opt for them?
It should be an option with knowledge and with proper education. Because I can tell about myself. When I was first diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, and I was I had undergone mastectomy and radiotherapy, all treatment, and after 2 years, me and my husband thought of getting the other breast also done, because there was not very clear chances, but we were apprehensive that, as you said, there was a very strong feeling that I may get it again, because I was very young at that time. I was hardly 32 or 33. So we discussed this option with the doctor, but he never encouraged us to go for parallel mastectomy. Rather, he said, we will keep you under observation, we will do other tests.
But it eventually did happen.
Yeah, but it happened again after 7 years. So at that time I was a bit upset that
when
had I gone through another mastectomy, I wouldn't have to go through all the treatment.
That of course really sort of changes, is a completely different story. Could have perhaps gone in for it earlier, but unfortunately had to live through it all over again. So there's really no saying, it's not the emperor of
Well, as we know,
for
cancer is not just one disease. There are so many different types of cancers. Our bodies react differently. And it's unpredictable, the pathway of cancer. Of course, once you have it in one breast, as you rightly said, there's the risk of having it in the other one increases substantially.
There is, if I'm sorry to interrupt, but there is a 20% increase in what we call the contralateral or the other breast if you have had it in one breast. All the chemotherapy and all the hormone therapy, etc., that's given is also given to reduce the risk of cancer appearing in the other breast. What the BRCA test also tells us is not just the likelihood of getting a cancer, but it also tells you that it's not one breast, but you are more likely to get it in both breasts.
Hence, something of a recurrence chance.
Exactly, it's another cancer. Hence the double mastectomy, which is required in somebody who tests positive for BRCA1 and 2. We wouldn't necessarily, I mean, Anuradha's case was unfortunate, and I think at that time we didn't have the availability of this gene test, particularly in India. But yes, somebody at 32 with what is called a triple negative breast cancer, we would probably offer them the test as opposed to a double mastectomy. That doesn't mean that if you test negative for BRCA, you're not going to develop another cancer in the other breast.
That risk is something that you just
That's what happened with me. I was triple negative the first time, but it happened to me.
Well, I'm completely running out of time, but before I wrap, I have to ask all of you basically the same question. I'll begin with you, Harmala. For all those watching this evening and thinking, should I go in for it? There's always threat. In fact, cancer is now so prevalent that almost every second person, or the statistics are mind-boggling, has someone close in family who's been through cancer, fighting cancer, or a cancer survivor, or unfortunately even lost someone to cancer. What would you say? How does one approach a gene test, which is of course not all that common in India, is it?
I think women shouldn't just go out now and start having gene tests. I don't think that's necessary. You have to have a significant family history. You have to have women in your family who were fairly young and had breast cancer or had ovarian cancer, and that would alert you to the fact that perhaps there is a gene involved in this. I think it's wise to talk to your doctor and in consultation with that, decide on that. And as I mentioned too, it's a small percentage of women who fall in this category.
Anuradha, quickly. Do you believe that for all those women watching and they want to get these, given a chance, would you, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, would you have had it done?
Not 20 years ago, but yes, after the first mastectomy, I would have gone for the second one.
Is it recommended, Dr. Sahni? Last words as we wrap.
I would recommend it to the patient subset where I thought it was applicable, but not everybody who it's recommended to has it. But the bottom line is, after watching Angelina Jolie, please realize, pardon me, that breast cancer is increasing.
Right.
So rather than go for gene test, at least get breast aware,
right.
make yourself aware, go for
that
a mammogram at least once a year.
Right.
You know, it's a very small portion that we can pick up with BRCA-NES,
right.
but the disease is rising significantly in our country.
Right.
So there's a lot of non-BRCA cancers.
So there's a lot else that you can do alongside.
Exactly.
Don't just focus on this, but do a lot else alongside.
Exactly.
Thanks all so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Completely out of time, but thanks very much. Well, we're slipping into a quick break right now. Back with more.